When you work at a theme park, there's music everywhere and it can't help but get in your head. And sometimes you do some silly stuff with it, sometimes you sing along, and sometimes it just becomes part of who you are. When you work at a theme park or when you visit one, you'll notice that music is everywhere. It's in the background, it's part of the shows, sometimes it's in the foreground to draw attention to something. It's the soundtrack for everything. And it can influence your mood. If you go to Magic Kingdom or Disneyland, you'll notice a different kind of music playing in the morning versus the afternoon. One meant to get you excited and ready to come in, and the other just kind of soothe you on your way out. Music is huge. And when you work at one, it can kind of become ingrained in you, and you find yourself doing things that you wouldn't have thought otherwise. One of the things that I've picked up in a few places over the years is soundtracks. I love the theme park music. Islands of Adventure actually put one out a few years ago. And in fact, one of the songs on here, I hear the song and I immediately think Islands of Adventure. And it's actually the port of entry song with the little chimes. And I'll hear that and I'm there in the park. Just hits me. And there I am. I've also got the parade soundtrack from Disneyland Paris. And I've talked about this and how I just love that. Then there's Katanga over at Busch Gardens. This was probably our favorite show at a theme park ever. It was just an amazing show. So much, I want the music. I've got the video. And I'll still catch myself singing these songs. So music is huge. But then there's the Disney soundtracks. This is for Disneyland. Walt Disney World had one as well. And those songs that are on it just get you. And it's actually talking with my daughter the other day. I realized that I can actually end up breaking one of my rules about favorites here because there is one that just really stands out above the others. But when I was working at Walt Disney World, you would hear songs and you just respond. I like to talk about when I was on Main Street at Magic Kingdom and the trolley show was there. And you'd see the trolley show several times a day. You'd be on Main Street and they would do the trolley show 3 times up Main Street, go take a break, and then 30 minutes later, here they are again doing it 3 more times. And so you would see this silly thing like a dozen times a day, and you memorize it. So you'd know all the songs, and you'd see them doing the dance steps. And there was actually a video on YouTube at one point, and I can't find it anymore. But somebody had actually filmed the trolley show, and you could see me as the photographer in the background doing the dance steps along with the people on the trolley show. It just hits you. And so even now, if I hear something like Walk Down the Middle of Main Street, bang, I'm there working on Main Street again in my mind. It just comes ingrained in you. Same thing with the castle show. You would memorize those, and it would actually affect how I would take the pictures. Because if I had a family that wanted to take the pictures during the castle show, there was always a section where there was a little bit of pyro, and I'm like, hey guys, hold still, and I would take the picture so you get the fireworks going off. There were several of us that did that, but it just made for a neat shot that here they are, and I like to try to get them doing a ta-da, and then there's the fireworks, and it made for a really cool photo. But you'd also find, there was something about the shows at the parks that just would get me. High School Musical was huge at the time, and over at Hollywood Studios they had a High School Musical show. It became kind of like the trolley show for me. You'd hear the music so often you'd memorize it, and while I didn't do the dance steps that they did, because they would actually drive up the street, park, do the show, and then come back down the street again. So they didn't have the show stops like the trolley show did, but you would still hear the music and find yourself goofing off and moving around and dancing with it. Well, upbeat music. It just kind of, it's like Baloo. Yeah, I hear Baloo, and I'm just going, woo, there I go.
Yeah. Well, man, what a beat. Will you stop that silly beat business?
The music for me was just so much part of working there. Main Street had its definite theme. Over at Epcot, the Soarin' theme just, every time I hear that song, I'm thinking Epcot. Even though I first rode Soaring in California when it was new, and that's where it originated, I hear the Soarin' theme and I'm transported to Epcot because that was one of the songs that played so much in the background. Wishes. If you get any cast member who worked at Magic Kingdom at the time I was there, 2006, 2010, we'll all tell you that Wishes was the theme song because we all heard it every night with the fireworks and we would all sing along with it. And even all these years later, okay, I may not remember a whole lot of the actual song, but I can always, if I hear Wishes, da-da, I'm immediately transported back. It becomes so much a part of what you do. But every theme park seems to have its themes. I've mentioned a lot of Magic Kingdoms. Silver Dollar City has its themes. A lot of people think of Fire in the Hole. Run, boy, run, don't be slow. Wild numbers come, there's fire in the hole. If you've been to Silver Dollar City at all, you'll know that song and you'll immediately connect it with the park. And I'm really hoping that they keep it as part of the new ride. We will see. But there's also Flooded Mine has its own theme song. And if you're ever there at opening, you'll hear a song that I actually found out that Porter Wagner originally made famous. But for me, it's Silver Dollar City. And it's called Company's Coming. Company's coming. Company's. And they do it as part of the opening. And it's another one that you just kind of get stuck in your soul. When we were down at the train station, that was kind of our cue that, hey, we're almost time. We'd be down there still finishing cleaning up or talking or prepping for the day. And then you would hear on the PA system, Company's coming. Time to get ready because they're about to do National Anthem and then we're ready to roll. So that was our cue. So it's almost like an attention song for me. You hear the song and boom, there we go. Let's get ready. But in all those soundtracks, there are some that become part of who you are in some ways that will take you back to childhood. I saw the Electric Light Parade numerous times working at Magic Kingdom. But for me, it will always go back to when I very first saw it as a child. And so I hear the first notes and you can then start reciting the original, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, with that electronic voice. And it just takes you right back to when you were a kid. Watching the Electric Light Parade for the first time. Watching the bugs spin around in front of you. And that parade will always be a part of me. And it's one that, yes, it's old. Yes, it's time for something new. Yeah, it really is time for a new night parade. But every now and then, to see it again just brings back all those childhood memories. It was the first Disney night parade my kids saw as well. And so I love that song. In fact, when I was talking to my daughter, and I said, so what do you think my favorite Disney song, theme park song is? And that was her first guess. And I was like, close, it's probably number 2. And I said, when you know it, you'll know immediately, oh yeah, that should have been obvious. Fantasmic. Fantasmic will probably always be my favorite theme park song. Partially from doing crowd control when I worked at studios. I would finish up a photography shift and I would actually sometimes bump over and just help get people in and out of the theater. That was one thing I did have a little bit of training on. I was never an official part of the crew, but it was kind of a wink, wink, nudge, nudge at my supervisors. Hey, okay, we're not shooting. There's crowd control. And they're like, go do it. So I would hear the Fantasmic song numerous times. It is still, I think, the absolute best soundtrack for a show. And yeah, okay, it's terrible. I admit it, but I still cry when I watch Fantasmic. Yes, I am in my 50s and I cry over Fantasmic. It's okay. And that's actually one of the reasons why I love these albums. Of course, nobody listens to CDs anymore, but you can actually, if you go on Spotify or Amazon Music or AOL Music or whatever your streaming music is of choice, you can find all of this theme park music there and let it take you back. And then if you find the trolley shows like Flitterin' and Main Street USA, yeah, okay, if you're really in a scary mood, imagine me dancing along the street as it goes by. I do actually miss those days. It was fun. So do you have a favorite theme park music, soundtrack, song that takes you back, or that when you worked at a park you just couldn't help but sing along with? I'd love to hear your story. Share it in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that like button, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much to my patrons for supporting me and my YouTube members. I'm so grateful for them. If you want to know more about the benefits that come with that, please check the link below. Thank you so incredibly much for watching. God bless. So working or visiting a theme park, you'll notice that music is everywhere. It adds to the atmosphere. It's in the background. It's in the foreground sometimes. DJs, oh my goodness. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know your thoughts, your comments, your suggestions, your ideas. Be sure to share them in the comments below, or you can contact me. There's information in the description that has my email address, fan pages, information about merchandise, and so much more. So be sure to check that out. Don't forget to hit that like button, share the video, and if you haven't already, hit the button right up there to subscribe. And in fact, if you did enjoy this, I've even got another video for you right here. And also about these wonderful people here, those are my YouTube members and my patrons, the ones whose financial support makes this possible. I couldn't do it without them. If you want to know more about that and the perks that come with it, well, be sure to check the description. There's a link right down there. Thank you so incredibly much. God bless.